We return to our descent to Avernus. Thank you, Tamrick. Now, as I was talking about, we were talking about the nine hells, right? Malbolge, Maladomini, Stygia, Phlegethos, and of course, Avernus is the welcome mat to the nine hells. Hey, Cold Spark, look! When in the nine hells. When in the nine hells. Actually, on a similar note, it looks like I didn't have my background music on for this. Let's set the mood. Now, you can find all kinds of information about the nine hells in general in the Dungeon Master's Guide. Towards the beginning, when it talks about the different planes of the multiverse. All right, you have you have the Abyss and some of the important layers here. Thanatos, the Demon Web where Lolth lives. Endless Maze, the Triple Realm. Death Dells. Carceri, Hades, Gehenna. The nine hells are not a friendly place. Mechanic. Uh-oh. Trust a flump. Look away. Look away. It's only gonna set you off here. Aren't they cute? Look at those Modrons. Ugh. Don't you just want to pick them up and give them a hug? I mean, come on. I know that plushy Modrons would be an absolute oxymoron, but a plushy Modron, come on, y'all. Now, I still have this brick going. Anyone wants to adopt minis? It looks like you might be getting 3 rares in a brick. Now, a couple other things that I thought we could take a look at. Now, these are demons. Rising Phoenix, yeah, that'd be fine. You could do that. All right, so Rising, you want me to go and adjust the credit that you had from a raffle? So we're gonna use 11 of that, and we will pop open. We'll pop open a box, and you get first dibs on what's inside. How do they increase on levels? You get ability score improvements at certain levels in the class that you're taking, Dan. Alright, so I'm going to set this aside because we're going to actually... Well, we can explore a little bit of the demons because it looks like Yinogu the demon prince of the Knolls has a couple agents here. Ynogu's Baldur, Ynogu's Hezro, and there's also Ynogu's Dretch. And I think there was one more. I believe there was one more. Let me double check.
Acorn.
An acorn. All right, we'll pull one for Donnie as well. Oh, maybe it's just the three, but still, for being for taking place in Avernus, we have 3 agents of Ynogu. And so we'll take a look at what a Hezro and all those are. But first, I have to do this first dibs pull for Rising Phoenix D&D. So everyone share your pull, your minis emotes, please. And let's find out which one figure Rising would like to keep from the 4 that will be revealed. Okay. So first up, we have Barnabas the Flaming Skull. Barnabas the Flaming Skull. See the skull in there wearing a helmet, has a nice little face? Hi, I'm Barnabas. Next up, oh, there was, aha! I found it because I knew there was another one. You have Ynogu's Quasit. Ah, look at that tiny little knoll. Look at that tiny little knoll. Ynogu's Quasit. Talk about a small boy here. Next up, we have an uncommon, and that is, yeah, talk about an ankle biter. We have a Legion Arenyes. A Legion Arenyes. Or lastly, Rising Phoenix, if you want to keep this figure, you have a Legion Pit Fiend. A Legion Pit Fiend. Rising, you want that one? All right. And here we go. Rising Phoenix. There's your mark upon the box. Ta-da! A tough choice, right? Oh no, Wall Nye. Now we are going to pull a gacha capsule for Donnie. So Donnie, you let me know when to stop, and we'll see what is inside. Gotcha, gotcha. Stop, says Donnie. Oh, there's not a piece of paper, but there's definitely a figure inside. And the figure that awaits Donnie's sorrow is... this is one before they put the decals on the bottom. Let's get some light. Ah, yes. This one is a Dread Warrior. See what I mean? It's difficult to, because it's molded in the black plastic. I had to put it under the ring light over here for the capsules. You have a Dread Warrior. You told me to stop on that red paper? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now let's put your name by that figure. There we go. Thank you, Donnie. Getting less and less. Lots of figures. Yes. Sure, the stream delay. Mm-hmm. All right, now we were looking at the monster manual. It looks like it. It looks like Donnie, you are. Well, I don't know about this month, but I for the week you are. Now, what about Yinogu? Known as the Knoll Lord and the Beast of Butchery, the demon lord Yinogu hungers for slaughter and senseless destruction. Gnolls are his mortal instruments, and he drives them to ever greater atrocities in his name. Delighting in sorrow and hopelessness, the Gnoll Lord yearns to turn the world into a wasteland in which the last surviving gnolls tear each other apart for the right to feast upon the dead. Yinogu appears as a huge scarred gnoll with a spiky crest of black spines and eyes that burn with emerald flame. His armor is a patchwork of shields and breastplates claimed from fallen foes and decorated by those foes' flayed skins. Yinogu can summon a triple flail he calls the Butcher, which he wields to deadly effect or wills to fly independently into battle as he tears foes apart with his teeth and claws. Now, of course, you're seeing right here demons by type. We have Barlgura, so, I mean, Barlguras were brought up here. Shadow demons, Vrox, Chasmes, or Hezro, Glabrazu, Yochlol, Nalfenshis, Meriliths, Baelors, and Goristro. Of course, the Goristro is in Dungeon of the Mad Mage. And if we're taking a look here, so there was a Hezro. Here we go. Yinogu's Hezro. Hezros serve as foot soldiers in the demonic hordes of the Abyss. Although physically powerful, they are weak-minded, and Hezros can easily be duped into sacrificing themselves by more powerful demons. As they press their attacks into the heart of an enemy's forces, their foul stench can sicken even the toughest foes. We had a Barlgura right here, Yinogu's Barlgura. The Barlgura presents the savagery and brutality of the Abyss. Barlguras gather in packs to take down tougher foes, keep gruesome trophies from their victories, and decorate their territory with such objects. A Barlgura looks like a hulking orangutan with a gruesome drooping visage and tusks jutting from its jaw. Now, of course, Yinogu's is going to be more the aspect of Yinogu, the Gnoll. Standing just under 8 feet tall, it has broad shoulders and weighs 650 pounds. It moves apishly along the ground, but it climbs with great speed and agility. And the Dretch. Remember, that's actually miniature number 1 here, is Yinogu. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a Quasit. The Dretch right here. Yinogu's Dretch. Dretches are among the weakest of demons, repulsive, self-loathing creatures doomed to spend eternity in a state of perpetual discontent. Their low intelligence makes dretches unusable, or unsuitable, for anything but the simplest tasks. However, what they lack in potential, they make up for in sheer malice. Dretches mill about in mobs, voicing their displeasure as an unsettling din of hoots, snarls, and grunts. You have a dretch. I know there's a couple mains, or Manes demons, in the orphanage. So now, what about a Quasit? Looks like that's... Quasit is actually... there we go. That is a familiar choice for some. Quasits infest the lower planes. Physically weak, they keep to the shadows to plot mischief and wickedness. More powerful demons use Quasits as spies and messengers when they aren't devouring them or pulling them apart to pass the time. A Quasit can assume animal forms, but in its true form it looks like a 2-foot-tall green humanoid with a barbed tail and horns. The Quasit has clawed fingers and toes, and those claws can deliver an irritating poison. It prefers to be invisible when it attacks. Yeah, thank you for being a part of the community, Rising Phoenix. Pardon. Maddie always with the bait. Well, hey. It is what it is, Donnie. 2 rares have been pulled from the brick, which would indicate if it's like the last one, there's still 1 more rare to be pulled. Let's make sure we didn't miss any here. Nope. I do have Yochlos, by the way. If you love Lolth and Drow, I have some Yochlos to adopt. There's the Balor. Balors are in Dungeon of the Mad Mage. This is what a normal Barl girl looks like. However, we can see that Yinogu's is still very large, but has taken on less of an orangutan appearance and more of that of a knoll. Chasmes and Dretches. Again, these are what they're traditionally depicted as. However, Yinogu's agents are going to look like Yinogu. Hey, does this look familiar? Why, it looks like this is a Glabrazu. Look at that nice CR9 creature. I think I forgot to read the entry for Glabrazus. Sorry about that, everyone. A Glabrazu takes great pleasure in destroying mortals through temptation, and these creatures are among the few demons to offer their service to creatures foolish enough to summon them. Although Glabrazus are devastating in combat, they prefer to tempt victims into ruin, using power or wealth as a lure. Engaging in guile, trickery, and evil bargains, a Glabrazu hoards riches that it uses to fulfill promises to short-sighted summoners and weak-willed mortals. However, if it attempts to entice or deceive, or if its attempts to deceive or entice fail, a Glabrazu has the strength and fight and win, or to fight and win. Garistro, hey, this is what you get out of Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Absolutely. That's a nice CR17 demon. A Hezro. Here we go. Right, here's Yinogu's Hezro. I think we read those above, but this is what they normally look like. There's a Merilith. Meriliths you can pull out of Tomb of Annihilation. I think we've pulled 1 out of the bricks that I've been able to get in. There's an Alfenshi. These are in Tomb of Annihilation as well. There's actually 2 of them. Ah, the Quasits. So this is what a Quasit normally looks like. And if we go up to... Oh, that's the Dretch. Then there's the little Yenogu's Quasit. I want them all, says Donnie. Well, hey. Now or later, over time, you can collect them. Variant, a Quasit Familiar. So there's rules for that if you want to take a Quasit. The Yochlol. Here we go, the Devils. Devils personify tyranny, with a totalitarian society dedicated to the domination of mortal life. The shadow of the 9 hells of Baator extends far across the multiverse, and Asmodeus, the Dark Lord of Nessus, strives to subjugate the cosmos to satisfy his thirst for power. To do so, he must continually expand his infernal armies, sending his servants to the mortal realms to corrupt the souls from which new devils are spawned. Devils live to conquer, enslave, and oppress. They take perverse delight in exercising authority over the weak. I'm going to zoom in a little bit to make it easier for y'all to read. And any creature that defies the authority of a devil faces swift and cruel punishment. Every interaction is an opportunity for a devil to display its power, and all devils have a keen understanding of how to use and abuse their power. Devils understand the failings that plague intelligent mortals, and they use that knowledge to lead mortals into temptation to their own corruption. Temptation and darkness, turning creatures into slaves of their own corruption. Devils on the material plane use their influence to manipulate humanoid rulers, whispering evil thoughts, fomenting paranoia, and eventually driving them to tyrannical actions. In accordance with their lawful alignment, devils obey even when they envy or dislike their superiors, knowing that their obedience will be rewarded. The hierarchy of the 9 hells depends on this unswerving loyalty, without which that fiendish plane would become as anarchic as the abyss. At the same time, it is in the nature of devils to scheme, creating in some a desire to rule that eclipses their contentment to be ruled. This singular ambition is strongest among the archdevils, whom Asmodeus appoints to rule the 9 layers of the 9 hells. These high-ranking fiends are the only devils to ever sample true power, which they crave like the sweetest ambrosia. Devils are confined to the lower planes, but they can travel beyond those planes by way of portals or powerful summoning magic. They love to strike bargains with mortals seeking to gain some benefit or prize, but a mortal making such a bargain must be wary. Devils are crafty negotiators and positively ruthless at enforcing the terms of an agreement. Moreover, a contract with even the lowliest devil is enforced by Asmodeus' will. Any mortal creature that breaks such a contract instantly forfeits its soul, which is spirited away to the 9 hells. To own a creature's soul is to have absolute control over that creature, and most devils accept no other currency in exchange for the fiendish power and boons they can provide. A soul is usually forfeited when a mortal dies naturally, for devils are immortal and can wait years for a contract to play out. If a contract allows a devil to claim a mortal soul before death, it can instantly return to the 9 hells with the soul in its possession. Only divine intervention can release a soul after a devil has claimed it. Good morning, Matty Morgs! Hey, Shukan, welcome! We're exploring Avernus, the 9 layers of hell. We've been busting open boxes of minis and even pulling some gacha capsules. So here's the hierarchy. And you know what? I bet Descendant to Avernus is going to get into this. So I'm not going to read word for word everything that's happening here. At the top, though, of the 13 layers of this hierarchy, you have an Archduke or a Duchess, a Duke or a Duchess. Then you have Pit Fiends, Ice Devils, Arenyes, and Horn Devils. Bone Devils, Chain Devils, Barb Devils, Bearded Devils, Spine Devils, Imps, and Lemures. No, I understand, Shukan. I remember from before you had an aversion to fiends. And sure enough, here is our Lemure. In fact, I can even kind of squish this over so that we can keep one up side by side. Boop, 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 boop. So there's our Lemure at the bottom of the hierarchy. We have imps right here. Here's our Legion imp. A spine devil. So we have two different spine devils. We have the one with the shield, and then we have the one with the trident. A bearded devil. We have two different bearded devils right here that are both uncommons. A barbed devil. We have a barbed devil as well. Legion Barbed Devil. There's actually two. There's one with the flame and the axe, and the other one that has two axes. A Chain Devil. We have a Chain Devil also. A Legion Chain Devil is here. Or is a rare. A Bone Devil. I don't know if there's a Bone Devil. Nope, there we go. A Legion Bone Devil. Here we go. A Horned Devil is next. A Horned Devil. Here we go. A Legion Horned Devil. Arenyes. We have an Arenyes. An Ice Devil was down this way. There we go. A Legion Ice Devil. And a Pit Fiend. We just pulled a Pit Fiend, actually, for Rising Phoenix. Then for Dukes or Duchesses, well, we have Zariel here. And I don't know about some of the other named figures, like Narzagon and Haruman. Or Alanthius, even. I have a fan blowing on my contacts, and oof. Oof. So yeah, you can build the entire infernal hierarchy. You can have a legion of devils that show up. A Hamatula, a Barbazu, a Chiton, Osluth. These are the more specific names. Arenyes. Here we go. Let's see. So, yeah, Zariel is the Archduke of Avernus. Dispater is of Dis. Memon is Minoros. Belial and Fierna is Phlegethos. Levistus is that of Stygia. Glacia is that of Malbolge. Beelzebul is Maladomini. Mephistopheles is Cania. And Asmodeus is that of Nessius, the last layer there. So Haruman and Olanthius, Mad Maggie, Omnizu must be maybe a lesser dukes. But Zariel is the Archduke of Avernus. Yeah, because if I have to pop more boxes, Black Wolf, it just keeps me from having to go back and forth on it. Let's see, a variant for an Imp Familiar. So here, if you have your monster manual open, starting on page... Whoop. Let's go back up here. On page 69 is where we start finding the devils. and you can find all kinds of them here. Barb Devil, Bearded Devil, and if you want to compare, purple green beard that has barbs. Here we go, purple green beard that has barbs. A Barb Devil, you can compare that to the Barb Devil that's in here. Bone Devils. Chain Devils. You fought Zariel 1v1. Oh. How did that fight go? There's an Arenyes. A Horned Devil. Trustaflump threw a Horned Devil and some Arenyes at a game that I was invited to play on a while ago on D&D time. It was on Sunday. And we ended up taking a dip into one of the layers of hell. And we were welcomed by a Horned Devil who was doing some shenaniganery in combat. And we made it further in, and there were some Arenyes that were shooting arrows at us. A level 20 totem barbarian had some potions on me, and a few really good magical items. But it sounds like you have a really good memory also then, Pouty Lips. I mean, to take on Zariel one-on-one like that, and of course, you know, to recount it, to tell the tale of when you stood toe-to-toe with the Archduke of Avernus. Ice Devil. Imps. See, we're talking about a Lemire looking like raw meat. I mean, well. Now, pit fiends like this, you can find in, in Dragon Heist. Spine Devils. All right, now we get to dinosaurs. So, one last resource that I do want to point you towards is that in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. Hey, Alexander, good morning to you. In Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, it discusses the Blood War, which is this eternal war between demons and devils. And this also has the Princes of the Abyss. See the Dretches? Dretches against Bearded Devils. There's not a D. It's Mordenkainen's. Or some people might say Mordenkainen's. It's up to you. Also, you had a really good weapon that we defeated a Demon King, and it did 3d10 plus the Brutal Critical and Reckless, plus another for Savage, I believe. So when I rolled a critical, which also took a couple of levels in Fighter to do 19 and 20s. Ah, okay. You just want to call it Morty's Photome? I suppose that works as well. So, lots of awesome backstory stuff. You can explore it. You know, you want to look at even the third party, the Yugoloths. Yugoloths play a part in this too. So once more, there's the layers and rulers of the Nine Hells with Zariel on Avernus here. Zariel was once an angel, but her impetuous nature and love of battle led to her fall. In her previous life, she was charged with observing the battles on Avernus and tracking their progress. From this exposure, she grew obsessed with the Blood War, and a thirst for battle grew within her that she couldn't ignore. In time, she became frustrated that she and the other angels were forced to remain spectators while the demons and devils battled. The hosts of Mount Celestia, she believed, could descend upon Avernus en masse and wipe both hordes of evil from the cosmos if they so desire. After her repeated requests to join the fray were denied, her frustration overtook her and she launched herself into the Blood War. Accompanied by a mob of mortal followers, she cut a swath through a legion of devils before their numbers overwhelmed her. A delegation of bone devils, later dispatched to the site by Asmodeus, recovered her unconscious form from beneath a small mountain of her slaughtered enemies. After allowing her to recover in the depths of Nessus, Asmodeus installed her on Avernus as his champion and new lord of that lair. When Zariel supplanted... Oh, I went too far. When Zariel supplanted the pit fiend Bel as the ruler of Avernus, that change signaled a major shift in the devil's tactics. Zariel's fiery temperament and reckless maneuvering stand in stark contrast to Bel's approach, which relied on his expertise in logistics and defensive tactics to make steady but slow advances. Bel remains one of her chief lieutenants, and she doesn't discourage her reckless tactics in the hope that she will overextend her forces and suffer a defeat that leads to her removal. For now, though, the devils are fighting with a berserker fury under her charge. Zariel leads their offensive herself, and her unyielding resolve, coupled with the fighting skill of her underlings, has pushed nearly all the demonic invaders out of Avernus. Oh, Pouty says, I killed Zariel. Take the page out of it. Everyone, take your book and just tear that page right out. Zariel is no politician. She lives to fight, and she bases her assessment of those she meets on a combination of their combat skills and their willingness to use those skills. In Zariel's eyes, zeal and fury are as important in a fight as iron discipline and extensive training. That outlook has made her something of a political pariah, since she has spurned overtures of alliance from other lords of the Nine and elected to swell the ranks of her armies through the aggressive recruitment of mortal souls. Her agents offer gifts of martial skill and courage to any who are willing to bargain. Zariel needs souls that yearn to prove their worth on the battlefield. Zariel rules over the ruin that Avernus has become. Once it was a bustling realm filled with cities, trade outposts, and other features. But recent activity in the Blood War has reduced it to a blasted wasteland. The few structures still standing are citadels constructed by the devils to repel attackers, to be rebuilt each time the front line of the war moves. The devils are in control of Avernus at present, although the fighting goes on, as it always does, in isolated locales throughout the lair. Adventurers able to avoid the other occupants can find treasure within some of the ruins, though they must venture to the fringes of the active conflict to have any hope of finding places that have not yet been looted. Many of the active citadels on Avernus loom over the river Styx, or surround portals to other planes or to Dis. An Amnesu presides over each location, directing the lemures that emerge from the Styx, marshaling forces against invaders, and preventing unauthorized travel. And this is where the Amnesu comes into play. I mean, talk about someone who looks like a bureaucrat. I accidentally set the book on fur, which then leads to all the other books going up in flames, and oops, does anyone have some water? Uh-oh. So, all kinds of things can be discovered here. All right, the cult of Asmodeus, the cult of Beelzebul, the cult of Dispater, and a couple, you know, especially Fallister Fisk here. Fallister Fisk is probably a named character in the module to come out in September. He definitely looks like a cultist, kind of like a big sacrificial dagger. Even has blood on the chin right here. It is a literal crime. Not unless your dungeon master says otherwise, Dan. Otherwise, a sling bullet is a sling bullet. So, how to start your own diabolic cult in your D&D game? You want to talk about Cambions, which you can get the Cambion figures in Dragon Heist. There's also some subling. There are Tiefling sub races here that you can play out of Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. So there's the Asmodeus Tieflings. There's the Beelzebul Tieflings. So in this case, Charisma 2, Int 1, and they get the Legacy of Maladomini. If you are a Dispater Tiefling, a Fiernet Tiefling, a Glacia, you want to have the Legacy of Malbolge, Levistus, Mammon. You want to customize your own devil? Hey, we can do that. Not necessarily, Dan. And so here is here's what where we get into the fiends, particularly the demons of the abyss. And if we go a little bit ahead, oh, there's the Demogorgon. Y'all might have heard of that one. There's Baphomet, Fraz Urblu, Grotst. Grotst is the unlimited hedonist. Hey, Delcorin. I don't know. If y'all want to have a random devil cult, I guess we could generate one. Jui Blex, Orcus, and hey, Lamau. Here's Yinogu. Also known as the Beast of Butchery, Yinogu inspires his followers to devour any creatures they meet. In his mind, the cosmos is made up of only predators and prey. To sate his bloodlust, Yinogu often rampages across the abyss, killing everything in his path. Only those demons that join him in wreaking carnage can avoid his wrath. Yinogu's wanderings across the abyss are like the meanderings of a storm. He and his cultists are like the meanderings of a storm. Pardon me. He and his cultists pass through an area like a monstrous hurricane whose course can never be predicted. Of all the demon lords, Yinogu has made the greatest mark on the material plane. During his rampage across the world eons ago, the race of gnolls sprang up in his wake. Every gnoll is a miniature embodiment of Yinogu's rage and hunger. They mimic their creator, killing any creature or creatures that cross them and respecting only those that can withstand their fury. Yinogu rarely acquires cultists other than gnolls, Lecroas, and other creatures spawned by his incursions across the plains. The few humanoids that take up his worship are disaffected loners, mainly disaffected loners, many of them outcasts driven away from civilization. A cult of Yinogu operates like a pack of gnolls, regardless of what the creature make up, or what creatures make it up. Yinogu infuses them with a cannibalistic hunger, and they know that each victim they claim draws them closer to his presence. Ah, good old Zuchtmoy after that. So, hey, have you been blessed by a demon lord? For example, Yinogu? Here's some things that you can get for that. And build your own custom demon. And then, of course, we get to elves. Now, there is, in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, there is actually a stat block. Drow, Duragar, Demogorgon, so there's Zuchtmoy, Zaratan, Yinogu, 155. So, if you do want to put a stat block to Yinogu, this is a recommended one. Challenge rating 24. And ooh, so much that can be done. This is not an easy demon to put down. Nope, nope, nope. You get your own nice custom little madness from it, too. With that, I'm going to crawl off the bed. All right, Black Wolf, have a good sleep. Have a good sleep. Mordenkainen and Kel coming to Teen Nick this fall. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Oh, you. All right. What I want to do before I get up and take another break, everyone, is I have... This is the brick that has been busted into by you all, okay? So if any of you sponsor, there's presumably still a rare in here. This is the remains of a brick that I brought home from the store. And what I would like to do is I'm going to bust some open, unless I hear people saying, no, wait, stop, otherwise. I want to bust some open so I have some for the orphanage, and or I could throw these into capsules. Thieves' Tools. Dun, 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 dun. Chapter 5, Equipment. I'll move this one over. There you go. All right, what music do I want? Let's get something kind of sinister sounding. I mean, this is pretty sinister. Here we go. I'm going to finish off this brick and see what's inside. Finally, I get to open up minis, except I'm not doing it for myself. Not necessarily, Dan. Not necessarily. I mean, your DM might say that, yeah, something breaks if you, I don't know, depending on the circumstances. All right, oh sheeps. Yes, lead the charge. These are Maddie minis. Maddie gets to open up minis too. I mean, they're just going to go in the orphanage, so they're not really mine. Wouldn't that be something if I opened up a nightmare? Shukon, yes. And thank you, Shukon and Sheeps. If you got the emote, please spam it. Let's see what I end up pulling out of this half brick. Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. We begin with... Now I'm going to put this back over, and we're going to extend that back. I have a Lemure. Next up, I have a Merenoloth. A Merenoloth. Good news, my dad is home, though he can't do any strange activities. Well, I'm glad he's home. I'm glad he's feeling better, Shukon. I hope that's a relief for you and that life gets back to normal. A Bulazau. Meh. A Bulazau. And lastly, I have a Barlgura now. Step up, bro. Going to the orphanage. I'm gonna put the other devils as well. There we go. Now they're all in one box. Next up, let me get some more mini opening love, please. Everyone, if you don't mind. Oh no! Shukon upset the mod bot. Beep boop boop. Too many motions. Cannot process. Beep boop. Timeout. Too much mini strength, yes. You confuse the robot with your passion. Alright. We go back to the top and we have Yinogu's Quasit. Such a small little knoll. Oh, look at that little guy. Next up, we have a Legion Barbed Devil. A Legion Barbed Devil. After that, we have... this is the uncommon one. A Legion Spined Devil. Legion Spined Devil. And it has the shield. And lastly, we have a large figure, and the large figure is a Legion Ice Devil. A Legion Ice Devil. So there's an Arenyes, but there's not a Succubus in this set. However, there is a Succubus in Monster Menagerie 1. So if you're looking for a Succubus, then you can find it there. You're looking for a Banshee? Banshees were in Elemental Evil or Rage of Demons, and unfortunately I can't get those in right now, Shukan. Looks like my music's getting pretty high up there. Let me put that down just a little bit. I hope that wasn't too overpowering. Also, there is, you can get an unpainted set that has a Banshee in it. Shukan, if you're interested, I could arrange for one of those to make it into your next shipment. You just have to let me know. Ah, okay. All right, here we go. Spam the emotes if you have them. Thank you. What's in this next set? Ah, I believe we're starting with that cultist I was talking about here. At least someone who looks like a cultist to me. Fallister Fisk. Fallister Fisk. Next up, we have a Maragon. Maragon. After the Maragon, aha, Scarla True Strike. A determined little short stack who will take down hordes of devils. Then the last figure out of this box, actually we just have to bump down a little bit here, as we have Yinogu's Hezro. Yinogu's Hezro. Yes, it is a demon, bubonic one. Once I establish some market rates, which, by the way, Trust a Flump, let's go ahead and load up that research into the spreadsheet. That way, we can start trying to facilitate some trades. Yeah, there are demons in this set, bubonic. All right, thank you, Flump. The last box that I get to open. That's fine. Hey, well, if you get to it even tomorrow, I mean, look, tomorrow's a busy day for you. In D&D time, you have you've been getting some new players in. You have 2 new players, I think, playing tomorrow. Technically today, in the Eastern time zone anyway. And, 3 new players. And you're going to have your first 2 sessions are going to be with 5 players. And as well, if any of you want to play with Trust the Flump as your Dungeon Master, head over to DND, the letter N, dndtime.stream. Visit them on their Discord. Go to their website. Watch them on Wednesdays and Fridays and Sundays. Oh my. And sometimes Tuesdays. Yes, thank you, Trust the Flump. Seriously, check him out. And give Jeremy a run for his money. Those were the TUE name for demons and devils. Bubonic says, blasted daughter of Gary Gygax, and her, I won't repeat that, dislike for lawsuits against TSR for demon and devil worshipping. Oh, just so calling them bone devils and stuff like that? Gotcha. If you don't trust Flumps, then you'll want to play under Pete, who goes by the screen name of Shymak. You just got to watch out because I think on average, Pete gets like 25-ish % more crits than an average human being ever does. All right, what's in this last box that's going to the orphanage? Just all 4 straight to the orphanage. No chance. We begin with Barnabas the Flame Skull. Speaking of also some small green things, we have Yinogu's Dretch. Oh, come on. Yinogu's Dretch. After that, ooh. Why, we have Mahadi the Rakshasa. I love the outfit. Mahadi the Rakshasa. Backwards hands and everything. Well, it is going to be in the orphanage. And lastly, we have a Yagnoloth. A Yagnoloth. To the orphanage with them. Now that finished off a brick that I had busted open at the store earlier today. These 4 are the remnants of the brick that we just opened up on stream earlier. So for those who wish to acquire some devils or demons, this is the set to do so. 6. I got 6 of them in. And I brought home 3.5. I also have one of the chaser figures at the store too. I do have an infernal war machine.
She is gonna kill me.
Oh no. I presume then you want a descent into Avernus, Donnie? How would they hope to win something? How would a church in a modern time hope to win a lawsuit against a game company for presumed devil summoning. I mean, wouldn't they have to prove that demons were actually being summoned and that this was killing people? Or then again, I mean, look, it's a litigious society. People can sue for anything, I suppose. All right. Breaking off Donnie's box here. He's gonna go rare fishing. You feel that last rare. Let's take a look. Let's find out.
Igacha get me one of them capsules, once hurt my soul XD.
Very well, Shukan. I'll pull a capsule for you after this. Alright, Oh Sheep's leading the charge once again. Here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go again. Back to the top. And we begin with a Legion Spined Devil. Oh, it's Pavlonian now, is it? Oh, sheeps. Come on, camera. Come on now, camera. Get on up there. There we are. A Legion Spine Devil. Next up, we have an uncommon of Scarla True Strike. Scarla True Strike. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, people are like, oh, but I learned about being a cultist from playing a roleplay. Yeah. Yep, got it. Next up, you have a large uncommon, and that is a Legion Horned Devil. A Legion Horned Devil. And lastly, Donnie, you do have a rare in this box. And the rare that you have is Silvira Savicus. A tiefling. Silvira Savicus. Three rares tonight. All right, and your name is upon the box, Donnie. Shukan wanted a gotcha capsule pull. Shukan, you tell me when to stop. Stop. Ishtar 90, welcome. Looks like you have a figure inside there, Shukan. Aha. And the figure that you have, let me put your name next to it on the spreadsheet so we're keeping track of stuff. That's what you gotta do. is a female human cleric, unpainted. And take a look at that magic she's summoning. A female human cleric. Well, if you want huge, Donnie, you gotta go for Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Because that'll get you huge figures. Even including a Garistro. Also, Storm King's Thunder is going to be where you'd want to look too. It's a spell effect of some kind. It's fine. It's almost 2 a.m., Shukan. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. There are 3 boxes left now in this brick of pumpkin spice pre-painted minis. Because if that's not pumpkin spice colors, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, sheep's nose. Even the minis come in pumpkin spice now, yes. All right. Well, everyone, I'm going to get up and take another stretch break. All right. And when we come back, we can continue to explore Avernus, devils and demons. We can talk about it as a setting. We can pop boxes and acorns, as Donnie calls them, which isn't inaccurate. Some gacha capsules and such. And we'll continue to have some fun. I have 1 sealed brick of Avernus remaining, at least here with me. 1 sealed brick of it left. And the 3 stray boxes. So I will be back in just a little bit, everyone.